Tower of London, it echoed in the world-famous Tower Bridge. That bridge opened just over 100 years ago, when London was still a thriving seaport. Its centre span opens like a drawbridge to let tall ships sail through. Once, it started opening just when a city bus was crossing Tower Bridge. The quick-thinking driver actually managed to lead his bus safely over the gap.
Leaping forward in history, we'll pass a huge grey and blue British warship named the HMS Belfast along the South Bank. During World War II, the Belfast fired its guns to protect the troops landing on D-Day. Today, it's a floating museum. This ship is a great place to take your kids, because after they run around all 9 decks, they'll certainly be worn out and ready for a nap.
Does London Bridge look especially historic? Maybe not at first. After all, this particular bridge is only a few decades old. But it's at least the 5th bridge that stood here. The Romans built the first London Bridge almost 2,000 years ago.
The wooden bridge that stood here in the year 1014 was pulled down by Viking warriors. That's probably where the nursery rhyme, "London Bridge is falling down," got started. Parts of London Bridge fell down many times over the centuries, but it was always rebuilt.
Queen Elizabeth II opened the latest London Bridge in 1973. If you travel to the USA, you can see the previous bridge. An American bought it, shipped it across the Atlantic, and rebuilt it stone by stone in Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Nestled amongst the modern buildings on the South Bank floats a Tudor galleon, painted black with red and gold trim, and 2 crow's nests on its masts. It's an exact replica of the Golden Hind, the flagship commanded by Sir Francis Drake on his historic voyage around the world. Why did Drake set off on this daring quest? For the glory of England, of course.
Unofficially, it's also more than likely that Queen Elizabeth I encouraged him to loot any Spanish treasure ships he encountered on the way. Drake returned laden with riches, and the Queen's share of that stupendous wealth amounted to an estimated £600,000 in 1580, the equivalent of many million today, more than enough to pay off the country's national debt.
Shakespeare's company of players performed Romeo and Juliet and other plays
had a habit of chewing garlic, which they thought protected them from the plague. Imagine trying to play Hamlet or Lady Macbeth to an audience that, frankly, stank.
Today, some playgoers still stand in the yard at Shakespeare's Club. But modern hygiene makes attending plays more pleasant than it was in Shakespeare's day. The Great Grey Dome of St Paul's Cathedral rises dramatically from the highest point in London. A cathedral dedicated to St Paul has stood there for over 1,000 years. St Paul's is an active place of worship in the Church of England, the national church of Great Britain. It's also a popular tourist attraction.
From the cathedral floor, you'll have a breathtaking view of the painted inner dome. If you have strong legs, you can climb the stairs leading to the top. Partway up is a circular balcony known as the Whispering Gallery. Ask a friend to stand on the opposite side, then turn to the wall and speak in a whisper. The gallery's acoustics are so perfect that you can hear each other easily. 528 steps up from the cathedral floor, you'll reach the Golden Gallery. It has a glorious 360-degree view of London and the Thames. Your legs may feel like jelly, but trust me, it's worth the climb.
In the cathedral's underground crypt, you'll find tombs and monuments commemorating British national heroes like Lord Nelson and the Duke of Wellington. You'll also find the tomb of Sir Christopher Wren, who dedicated 39 years of his life to designing St. Paul's and supervising its construction. His moving epitaph in Latin translates as, "Reader, if you seek his monument, look around you." On June 3rd, 2012, 1 million spectators lined the banks and bridges of the Thames.
Here they come!
Everyone in London seemed to be there, waving the British flag as more than 600 boats every time floated past, from giant battleships to tiny sculls, including the entire City Cruises fleet. Queen Elizabeth II rode in the royal red barge with other members of its royal family. This was the Thames Diamond Jubilee pageant, marking the 60th anniversary of the Queen's coronation.
It was an especially proud moment for London's watermen. Licensed watermen operate many of the boats that carry passengers on the River Thames. Throughout London's history, the city has relied on boats for transportation, food, and commerce. Back when there was only one bridge across the Thames, London Bridge, watermen were the equivalent of taxi drivers today, constantly ferrying passengers up and down the river. The competition for fares sometimes turned cutthroat. But saving the Thames could be a risky.
London, you may see a row of green sculpted metal lions' heads along Victoria Embankment on the North Shore. These lions hold rings in their mouths for mooring boats, but there are also an early warning system for flooding. If the water rises to the level of their mouths, the river may overflow its banks. In the words of an old rhyme, when the lions drink, London will sink. When it's up to their mains, we'll go down the drain. If they're guarding it, shouldn't they face outward, watching for danger?
Yes, but Queen Victoria supposedly liked them facing in. One sphinx was damaged during World War I, the second disaster to strike this monument in modern times. Some believe it's haunted by an ancient Egyptian curse. They say that at night, you can hear mocking laughter coming from Cleopatra's meal.
The gigantic observation wheel on the south bank is called the London Eye. Each of the glass capsules around the wheel holds about 25 passengers, and the view from them is simply spectacular. In clear weather, you can see up to 40 kilometers or 25 miles in every direction. The wheel takes about half an hour to complete one turn. It moves so slowly that you can climb aboard while it's in motion.
The London Eye has 32 capsules, one for each borough in London. You'll see one of the most historic boroughs now on the North Bank, the City of Westminster, headquarters of Great Britain's government. Westminster's most famous landmark is the clock tower of the Houses of Parliament. You probably call it Big Ben, but technically you can't see Big Ben. That's actually the name of the largest bell inside the clock tower.
A light shines above the 4 clock faces on the tower to signal that Parliament is in session. Another sign that Parliament is hard at work is a Union Jack flying from the Houses of Parliament, just beyond the clock tower. This splendid neo-Gothic building is officially known as the Palace of Westminster. To give you an idea just how massive that palace is, the flag on top is the size of a tennis court. We're approaching our next stop at Westminster Pier. Please remain seated until the boat stops moving. If Westminster is your destination, be sure